Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about the whole case of the baton race. Now, if you've been on the internet at all for the past week, I can't remember when the first video came out, but this video went viral of this high school baton race where it appears that one runner is whacking the other runner with the baton on her head, right? Now, this video went viral because obviously it looked like assault in a high school race in public, which is crazy, but that video went viral. Subsequently, things happened, and we're going to talk about all of that now. But the breaking news here, the reason why I'm talking about it now as opposed to earlier, is that a second video with a different angle has popped up. So things have become far more interesting. Anyway, let's go through the steps of what actually happened here. Damning new angle closes case on relay race baton attack. Damning new video has emerged of the relay race baton attack that has shocked America, and it's torn one runner's excuse to shreds. So, bombshell new footage of the relay race baton attack that has shocked America has essentially ripped up the runner's excuse that the mid-race strike was an accident. Alayla Everett claimed her strike was a freak accident and that her baton only struck rival runner Kaylin Tucker after she lost her balance and naturally pumped her arms again. This is the original video that went viral that made everyone think, and rightfully so because that's what it looks like, it was an assault. Here's that video. That video went viral. Everyone was up in arms because they're like, this is straight up just assault. There's no other way this can be interpreted. Well, in a tearful TV interview, Everett explained what happened after the runners first crossed into each other's path and collided. After a couple of times of hitting her with my baton, I got stuck behind her back, and the baton rolled up her back, Everett said to News Channel. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit. I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose. On Thursday evening, new footage emerged which contradicts the runner's argument and paints a rather damning image. The footage, taken on the final bend perfectly behind the runners, shows Everett swing her right arm a long way outside of a normal running motion in order to strike her rival. The new vision, which you can watch, and I'll insert that in a second, was released after Everett was charged with assault and battery in relation to the incident which took place during the girls' 4x200 meters relay at the Virginia State Indoor Championships on March 7th. Here is the second angle, the new angle, the bombshell angle. Everett was running the second leg for Norcom High School when she hit Tucker. Tucker immediately clutched at the back of her head and stumbled to the ground with Everett and her team disqualified from the race. Doctors examined Tucker after the race and diagnosed her with a concussion and possible skull fracture. Lynchburg Commonwealth Attorney Bethany Harrison confirmed on Thursday the high school athlete had been with a misdemeanor charge of assault and battery, according to ABC News. No court date has been set yet. Meanwhile, a lip reader has revealed the 4 words Everett said to her opponent as the on-track incident played out. While the speed at which the girls were running and the distance the camera was away from the track hampered the audio and video quality, one expert believes she figured out what Everett said. "Get off" and "hey-oh" are the words Everett uttered as she struck Tucker, lip reader founder Nicola Hickling told the Daily Mail. I want to stop here for a second, not to discredit the lip reader, but considering the circumstances, if already lip reading, I'm no expert on all of that, I will have to take it with a grain of salt here because a lip reader sitting, if I'm talking to you like this and they're reading my lips like this, that's one thing. While you're running quickly with a bad camera quality in the sense of it's not supposed to be super zoomed in here, right? You're supposed to see them run and from relatively far away. All of that taken into account, I have to take the lip reading with a grain of salt. Not that the lip reading makes a very big difference because saying "get off" or "hey-oh," like, I don't really think anything here is groundbreaking in regards to the lip reading. So I'm just going to push that aside because I don't really even think that is groundbreaking evidence. That doesn't really change anything, at least in my perception of the case. The fact that she got a concussion and a possible skull fracture to me says, okay, Granted, accidents happen and you can injure people in accidents. We all know this. But in this particular case, looking at footage 1 and footage 2, I don't change my mind. It looks done on purpose. And granted, if you're losing your balance, if you get stuck, I just still don't really understand the mechanism there. I really can't see a way in which this was accidental. Also because it's like, okay, so you're telling me that you're losing your balance, you guys are getting in each other's way. So instead of trying to regain your balance or to regain your balance, you're gonna swing your arm back further and then like have it come up like this. Like who would run like I have difficulty understanding, and granted, I'm not an athlete like them, so I don't know, but if nobody is seeing how that makes sense, maybe there's a reason why. The majority is not always right, but in this case, I really have difficulty finding any type of reason to believe that this was not done in bad faith. The other reason why I think this was done in bad faith is that the girlie did not stop running. I understand you want to win and all that, but if it were an accident and if you actually felt bad, you would have stopped. Apart from the fact that that's basic sportsmanship, as someone who played basketball for a very long time, that is a very basic thing that happens even in basketball. Like you foul someone, you bump into them, you make them fall, you at least stop and help them get back up. You say sorry. You know, like it's basic respect and also respect of whatever sport you're practicing, right? Because the whole point of sports, apart from enjoyment and being in shape, blah, blah, is also that there's a set of rules that we all follow, which makes the sport as equal as possible. The rules are supposed to pertain to everyone. So here, the fact that you accidentally slam the baton on someone's head and then you don't even stop after they've basically fallen to the ground, I'm supposed to believe that that's totally fine and normal? Because that doesn't line up with me. I would like to believe that in high school people wouldn't be so vicious, but I've been to high school and people are that vicious. Tucker and her parents were upset with Everett and the IC Norcom head coach as they didn't apologize or approach the injured runner after the race. That is fucking crazy about the head coach also not doing anything. Like, that makes you look so much worse and so much more suspicious because you're acting like you have nothing to apologize for. When in reality, whether it was an accident or not, obviously, if it wasn't an accident, there's a lot more to apologize for. But especially if you want to sell the idea that it was an accident, you're going to stop, or at least after the race, say something, acknowledge your mistake. None of that. That makes it more suspicious, and it makes you look like more of a jerk, honestly. They were beside us at the event. They were watching the video at the event, but no one apologized or came to check on her, Tucker's parents told WSLS. Even if it was a fluke or freak accident, you would check on her. Agreed. The Tuckers served Everett and her family with court papers requesting a protective order, according to WAVY. The incident culminated with IC Norcom being disqualified from the race. Now, I'm going to check if I can insert this because I think it was an interview on ABC, if I recall correctly.
I would never do that on purpose. That's not in my character. I was literally hitting the baton like this until she got a little ahead and my arm got stuck like this.
We just feel like a lot of the allegations were just so unfair. Especially talking about the items that were used. You know, this baton is lighter than a plastic cup. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe the allegations were a little harsh. Maybe if it was actually a skull fracture, then you talk about it. But the possible skull fracture makes things so much worse.
I don't know what the situation is with the skull fracture, but whether she has a skull fracture or not, you're still whacking someone on the head to beat them at a sport. So, you know, like I'm not saying the skull fracture doesn't matter, but in the context of all of this, the wrong still happened. Whether there was a skull fracture or not doesn't really matter in the sense of she still behaved in a way that was unsportsmanly. Is that a word? Anyway, you get what I mean. And it's basically assault. So the skull fracture or not, this is still assault in my eyes. But he did make a point of saying how light the baton was, which I'm like, that's not really the point. Like, yeah, I'm glad it didn't fucking break her head into a billion pieces, sure. But the reality still is, this is not behavior that belongs on the racetrack or any field of sport or anywhere, really. Assault does not belong anywhere. So I'm confused as to why he said that because it seems like excuses more than anything. The daughter also said that she was sorry and she would never do that. She lost her balance, as we read in the quotes. I just don't find it believable. Like, if you lose your balance, sure, you might swing in one way or another, but you lose your balance so much that you have time to wind up your arm all the way back here, bring it up like that and slam it on someone's head, and someone who is not necessarily in first place, but they're winning and they're ahead of you. Like, all of this just happened to align. I don't know. I find it all suspicious. Personally, I do think that the dad chiming in made everything 10 times worse, because I'm like, this seems like you're trying to do some weird kind of damage control by saying, oh, being hit by a baton isn't that bad. Basically, that's what he's saying when he's saying how light a baton is. I find all of this really messy, especially the part of also not even checking in on her after to see if she's okay. I just think that's really shitty behavior. That's just being a decent human. It has nothing to do with sport. It's just like, check on someone, right? Anyway. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hopefully there is no actual skull fracture there, but regardless, I'm just glad, as much as I don't like things being super filmed or everyone having their smartphones out when things happen, in cases like these, I'm so thankful that we have cameras basically everywhere, because the second angle, I think, really, really underlined the point that this was actually, in my opinion, done on purpose, and that it wasn't really just losing your balance and trying to, not eat shit. Anyway, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always. I'll catch you guys next time.